Okay, so according to the CDC, 99% of all of us have man-made chemicals in our bodies. These are known as PFAS, or forever chemicals. And they're forever chemicals because the body can't break these chemicals down. Naturally, they just don't break down, and they stay in your body forever. These chemicals came from manufacturing processes and things such as firefighting and painting and stuff like that. This is a problem because these chemicals cause certain types of cancers, developmental delays, thyroid and heart issues, and infertility and low birth weights. So how do these chemicals come in our bodies in the first place? Well, typically, they come in through the water supply, and that's our problem statement. Forever chemicals, which are found in water sources, pose severe health risks, and they aren't effectively addressed by water filters today.
At NanoCleanse, to address this problem of persistent forever chemicals and PFAS in water and being persistent in the environment, we have come up with a water filtration device that is able to remove all detectable levels of PFAS chemicals. This is going to leave the customer with healthy drinking water. We wanted to ensure the system would be easy to use, as drinking water is a daily activity, and we don't want to try and incorporate some kind of complicated process or something like that into an already very busy generation. And lastly, we wanted to keep the price entry point low. And the importance of this and why this is so needed in our solution is coming up in conversations I've had with people. Why do they need a water filtration device in the first place if they're already paying for water from the city that's coming from the city's water treatment facility? It should be clean, right? Well, we want to make sure that on top of what they're paying the city for their water, we're not adding a financial burden to them that would make it undoable or unattractive in their eyes. Our solution is this product, the initial product. It is a simple point of use water pitcher with the filtration device inside. It is very simple to use. All you need to do is add water, allow the filtration to occur, and then drink, use, decant into whatever secondary container you'd like for use in the future. Now, taking a look at the competition when it comes to water filtration, the market is very rich. There are quite a few competitors that we have to deal with. Fortunately for us, 99% don't even deal with removing PFAS whatsoever. In fact, Duke and North Carolina came out with a study that showed that a few of the big brands, is what we'll call, will actually introduce PFAS in their filters themselves by using low-quality materials that bleach into water. The second group of our competitors are those that are able to remove PFAS. However, they do leave a lot of room for improvement. They take quite a bit of time, on the order of hours, when it comes to allowing the filtration to occur. They can be very, very expensive. Their product life is actually very variable. They will claim up to 6 months, but depending on how contaminated your water is, it says on their website, it will actually only last a couple of weeks, meaning that cost is going exponentially go up. A few other problems with our competitors that are able to remove PFAS is the end of life of their filters is landfill. They tell you to just discard the used filter, order a new one, and all that results in is the PFAS that they were able to remove in your home just being displaced, and the problem isn't being solved whatsoever. So what sets us apart and gives us the advantages are, unlike our competitors, we are testing to new EPA regulations that are coming out in the end of 2023. Our competitors are testing to what the EPA came out with in 2021 as far as admissible levels of different PFAS chemicals being allowed in the water. Secondly, we employ what's called green chemistry, or an emphasis on products and processes that either mitigate or completely eliminate hazardous products being used in the process and hazardous products being made in the process. This leaves the customer with a safe beginning, usable and end-of-life product that won't actually end up affecting their health down the road. This green chemistry concept plays perfectly in line with the way we have decided to engineer these filters. The competition is only worried about what the filter does as soon as it's saturated and then just goes in the landfill. Whereas we look at everything from manufacturing all the way to the end of life. And what's important about things like that is, let me restart that. Life cycle engineering is really important because a lot of these saturated filter media are just being discarded. And again, like I said, the problem isn't being resolved whatsoever. Where we are making sure with this novel filter media, these green-made products, they enable a longer life of the filter, and they also degrade into safe counterparts. And what sets us apart the most, where the competition isn't able to match with us, is instead of telling our customer to simply discard the saturated filter, we are asking them to ship them back in a subscription shipping type method, regenerating, reusing, dealing with the PFAS, and not making the customer themselves deal with the PFAS in their home. We are going to bring it back and deal with these dangerous chemicals in a far more safe way and environmentally friendly.
All right. We are launching NanoCleanse with 3 core values in mind. First, we want to get clean, safe water to as many people as possible. Number 2, we want our devices to be economically and environmentally sustainable. So that means cost reduction, placing our product at as cheap of a price as we can to ensure that the most people can afford it, and also to make sure that we are not harming the environment with our product, because after all, we are an environment first company. So our business model. We are launching into a market that is expected to almost double in the next 7 years, resulting in a market size of $54.5 billion. This is a large market that is already well established. And so our goal is to get just 1% of this market. If we can do that, we will generate a total sales revenue of $545 million by the year 2030. And this isn't completely realistic from all of our research. We are selling our product with a $40 initial fee to purchase the container, as well as $40 per year that we are going to charge for replacement filters. Our adoption strategy. We are primarily a business-to-consumer company, which means that we are marketing directly to the consumer. We are going to do this through things like Amazon, how we're going to sell to them, or installing our products in companies that match our ideas. So something like Whole Foods, REI, an outdoorsy type of market, so that we can find our target customer. And we're also going to be advertising on social media as well as traditional sources. Sorry about that. No, that's fine. So our target customer, as I already mentioned, is someone who is health conscious first. This can be someone who is primarily going to be in a higher tax bracket, probably someone who makes more income because they're generally more focused on their health. It could be someone with a family who's worried about their kids' safety. They could be worried about someone who just likes their water tasting good. Doesn't really matter.
Thank you, Josh. Okay, so we'll talk about a little bit about the market validation. So, is there awareness for this product, this issue about PFAS? So, 2022 study by Dr. Tien and colleagues found that between 2017 and 2019, there was an increase of over 670% of actual social media posts related to PFAS-related materials. And from their analysis, they found that overall, consumers are concerned about PFAS contamination and view it as a serious health concern. Now, against this backdrop, the EPA have been working on initiatives to limit the amount of PFAS in our current water supply. So a couple of the initiatives that they're trying to implement is they're trying to create a national standard for PFAS levels in our drinking water. They're creating a framework that limits the introduction of new PFAS and unsafe PFAS into the market, and also create a reporting structure that allows companies and manufacturers to report like PFAS in the manufacturing process, and also if any other harmful PFAS are used during the actual manufacturing process. So while our approach to filtering is quite novel because of the technology that we're using nanotechnology in this particular case, the overall concept of using filtering water isn't new. A water survey done in 2022 showed that over 77% of American households use some type of water filtering system in their home. So this makes sense. This makes sense because like the market size, like Josh mentioned earlier, is very large. It's currently at $30 billion in 2022, and it's projected to grow at an annual rate of 7.6. And by the year of 2030, it estimated that the market would be at a market size of $54 billion. So with this said, we're asking for initial seed investment of $300,000 for a 10% stake in NanoCleanse. This money will allow us to invest in manufacturing a product that can go to the consumer and allow us to acquire 50,000 new customers. Now, with our subscription model of $40 per year plus that initial fee of $40, we believe we will be able to actually generate $4 million in revenue within 12 months. Okay, I'll pass it to the team.
So you're not just investing in a product, but you're also investing in a team. And I'll start off by introducing Matty over here. He is a PhD student in material science and engineering, which means he has this idea, he's doing the research, and he already has 3 separate IP filings for these types of nanomaterials. Next, we have Osee over here, who is a CS major and has some software dev experience. I'm Tobias, I'm also a CS major, and both Osee and I are planning to implement the website of our business and get fulfillment and stuff working on that side of things. And then we have Josh, who is an electrical engineering major with electrical engineering and management experience as well. So together we form NanoCleanse, purifying today, preserving tomorrow. Thank you. Any questions? Yeah.
How do you plan on marketing this?
So we're mostly going to be doing it online because we are going to be relying on distributors such as Amazon to do most of our selling because we're going directly to consumer. So mostly online products.
Yes, and one strategy that we're going to be using is like there's a couple locations that's very known having like very high PFAS concentration. So we will target marketing that target those particular areas where we've like seen that there is very high concentration of PFAS.
Are you gonna like do most of it on social media?
Yes, we will do social media.
Yeah.
I was curious if y'all had any notions of like partnering with a laboratory that does PFAS testing. The idea I have is like maybe you could subsidize a free first. That's the one you were thinking about.
No, I'll finish after you.
Oh yeah, so a free like first test of the water for PFAS. So I feel like a lot of people like think they know what PFAS is, but they don't know. Oh, maybe it affects us, not maybe it does. So it'd be a good way of going like, oh crap, there is water. There's stuff in our water, and then you buy your product. Just not using that.
I was wondering if you plan on partnering with any refrigeration companies such as Lamson or LG, because the filter, and I'm also curious about if the filters in refrigerators remove any of those permanent chemicals. So if they don't, would you plan on partnering with any of those refrigeration companies?
It's a great idea, yeah, definitely, just because like we have a big market share, and it'd be like the easiest thing for the consumer as well, just to like hold your cup underneath the fridge and then bang, like, you already have PFAS free water, like that's a
Yeah, I think this
that's
is,
what we're looking at.
this is a pretty versatile product. This is just what we have decided to launch into the market with, but we're definitely planning some market expansions as well. So.
I think your guys' pitch was super great. I love your slogan motto. My question is just when are you gonna have a prototype that you can get out?
Yeah, that's why we need the research money. I don't know if I can give you a timeline on a product. I can tell you, working in the field of nanomaterials, that it is just abundantly being researched all over the place, especially when it comes to removing PFAS from water. I'd say about 3 to 5 years, give or take. Reasonably, for something as simple as this initial product. I mean, that's coming in line when you need IP, you need to build the company itself. I mean, from seed fund, 3 to 5 years, I think.
Yeah. Oh, sorry.
So you guys mentioned getting rid of the filters. How exactly do you dispose of PFAS filters so that they're not reintroduced to the environment?
Can you say that one more time?
The PFAS filters, when you get rid of them, how do you dispose of them properly so they don't get reintroduced, the PFAS into the environment?
In general or for our product?
For your guys' product?
For our product, the idea is that the saturated filters will be sent back. The novel filter media that is found in the filtration device can actually be regenerated, a process which a lot of people aren't using with other adsorbents like activated carbon, things like that. They can be regenerated, reused, and repacked, is kind of the idea. What people are doing now and why I want to pursue a hole like this in the research is there isn't really a good way of getting rid of PFAS at the moment. And yeah, people are collecting it in their filters, and the competition that does remove PFAS, their disposal is simply landfill. So they're something we're working on, and something in the back of my mind is being able to extract the PFAS, either concentrate it, degrade it somehow into a safer product instead of making the consumer do it.
Last question.
Good job on the logo. I like the logo and the problem definition. Just a quick question out of curiosity. Maybe you mentioned this. Is PFAS refers to a contamination of water, or it's a word or an abbreviation?
It's a compound. It's a group of compounds. Actually, there's been reported up to 9,000 of them. The main component of it is that I won't detail the chemical structure to you, but it's a class of compounds. They're per and polyfluoroalkylated substances.
Thank you.
Yeah, there's all sorts of them, unfortunately.